Time to do that. We're only going one round. Mr. Cummings.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Clemens, I want to come back because I got to tell you that of all the testimony and the things that I've read, and if I walked in here and it was even Steven between you and Mr. McNamee, I must tell you the person that I believe most is Mr. Pettit. You admit yourself that he is a good guy, he's a truthful guy. And there have been a number of things that make his testimony and his deposition and his affidavit swing the balance over to Mr. McNamee. I got to tell you, and part of it comes from your own words. Now let me go back. This is about a conversation not regarding HGH, but steroids. Mr. Pettit told us about a conversation that took place in Mr. Pettit's home in 2003, 2004. Mr. Pettit told us that Mr. McNamee said, and I quote, he had gotten steroids for Roger, unquote. Let me read to you from the transcript of the deposition with Mr. Pettit. Question, did you have any reason to think Mr. McNamee wasn't being straight with you about that? Answer, no, I had no reason to think that. Question, were you surprised? Answer, yes. Surprised me when he said that. That was the first time I'd ever heard him say anything about steroids. Mr. Clemens, you have stated that Mr. McNamee is lying about the use of steroids. If he is lying now, why would he have told Mr. Pettit in 2003 or 2004 about your use of steroids?
Congressman, I have no idea. Again, Mr. McNamee never told me about Andy Pettit using HGH. The running theme that I know of is that every time something came up, again, a conversation with Jim Murray, Brian McNamee said, "But I'm trying to warn you, but don't tell Roger." Mm-hmm. So I have no idea. All I'm telling you is if Andy Pettit thought that I had used HGH, our relationship was such that he would have come to me.
Okay, you told us that several times.
Yes, sir.
I got you that. I got it. I understand that. Let me go into this. You know, I've listened to you, and I've listened to you carefully. And again, I'm trying to see where to strike the balance. If I got two people that are they're saying opposite things, I'm looking for an independent source to help me try to figure out which side to believe. And I got to tell you, one of the most interesting things, and Mr. McNamee said it, and it's been borne out in the depositions, is that when McNamee gave testimony about Knobloch and Pettit, those allegations were borne out to be true. And for some reason, your guy, who you admire, who you think is one of the greatest guys, an honest guy, and everybody says he's a religious guy, when it comes to you, it's a whole nother thing. You follow what I'm saying? So you're saying that Mr. McNamee lied about you, but he didn't lie about the other two. How do you explain that?
Again, Congressman, I am with certain that when Andy Pettit used HGH, why didn't he tell me that he used HGH? I never learned about any of this. Andy and I are close friends. We were plane travel mates. If he misheard me on a subject that I was talking about, some gentleman's using HGH for quality of life, like I stated, then he misunderstood that. I'm telling you in it again that he should have had no doubt in his mind when he came into the locker room when the Mitchell report was the LA Times report was released about having us implemented in that ordeal. He sat down and looked at me. I still at that time did not know.
My time is running out. I hear you, but my time is running out.
Again, he looked at me, wringing his hands, white as a ghost, and asked me, "What are you going to tell him?" And I told him, "I'm going out there to tell the truth. I didn't use any of this stuff." That alone should have took Andy off any kind of wavering or whatever he's had.
Well, again, as I said before, I've listened to you very carefully, and I take you at your word. And your word is that Andy Pettit is an honest man, and his credibility pretty much impeccable. Your lawyer says the same thing, but suddenly, and the committee gave him time after time after time to clear up his testimony, and he consistently said the same thing on the oath. Not only that, his wife, he goes and tells his wife everything, and then she does an affidavit saying the same thing, but suddenly he misunderstood you. All I'm saying is it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe you, sir. I hate to say that as you're one of my heroes, but it's hard to believe you. Thank you.
Gentleman's time has expired. Mr.